Okay, you beautiful, beautiful men and women, it is that time of the year to finally divulge my final 2021 Oscar winners predictions. In a roller coaster of a season, we finally arrived in this moment. We got here thinking that one of the big six categories was going to be a complete toss-up, and it ended up being another one of the big six categories that's a complete toss-up. A lot has generally summarized what this season has turned out to be. You know, we went from a global pandemic to having the Oscars pushed back to a Golden Globe ceremony that somehow was less painful virtually than it is in person, to a really interesting SAG Awards, to BAFTA nominations that gave me and most other award predictors a brain aneurysm on that morning. So we've traveled a long way to get to this moment, and in a few days we're going to get to see the 2021 Academy Awards, and I'm going to get to swap out one of those posters back there. You know, I preface most of these videos in saying now I've been doing this for about 6 years, and I've probably gotten no better at this whatsoever. My track record with predicting Best Picture is 0. I haven't done it yet. I fucked it up every year. And I said in a video way back when that if I fuck it up this year, I might have to delete my channel. Because if something else wins, then I don't know. I don't know what more to do. I feel like I've tried my best. That being said, I'm going to divulge my picks for the big six Oscar categories in what I think will reign victorious. So we're going to be looking at the screenplay categories, the acting categories, the director category, and the picture category. I have a feeling that this video might be my shortest Oscar prediction video yet, because I don't think there's that much to talk about with these. I think we have a pretty good idea on, let's say, 6 of the 7. I think we can say pretty comfortably what's going to win. The 7th, if anybody tells you that they're confident in their pick for winning, they're lying to you. They're lying straight to your faces. And if you believe them, they're probably a really good liar. So starting with the screenplay categories, I admit that more recently I've been slightly shaken on these. It's become a little bit more difficult to predict, considering the right turn a couple of these have made throughout the season, and considering certain wins that have arisen. I'll start with adapted screenplay, which I am still sticking with Nomadland for. I still believe that Nomadland is going to take this Oscar away. If there is a creep up, it's definitely going to be The Father, which has been gaining quite a bit of momentum. Obviously, we saw it win Best Adapted Screenplay at the BAFTA Awards. I personally chalk that, as well as Anthony Hopkins' win, up to a new thing that I call BPDBS, which is British people doing British shit. They do it every year. They give a slew of nominations or a win or two away to something that we know isn't gonna happen, right? This year, they did it a couple of times, predominantly in their nominations, right? With The Father winning screenplay, I do think that is a viable possibility for the Oscars, right? We've seen that The Father has been picking up that momentum, and it's my favorite film of the year. I'd love to see it pick up this win in this category. Shit, I'd love to see it win in Best Picture. But I don't think it's going to happen because Nomadland is such a tour de force, and because it's performed exactly the way that we've all expected it to since the very beginning. You know, it's frightening to me a little bit because 1917 was, in my eyes, a very sure bet last year for everything except for screenplay. But truth be told, I think if Nomadland loses screenplay to something like The Father, then we can go, okay, we actually might have ourselves a fight in Best Picture. Right now, it's looking like director is gonna go a certain way, and if Nomadland is gonna lose, it's gonna be by losing this category, which, though possible, I don't think is very likely. I still think Nomadland is gonna run away with this category. The WGA went to Borat, which, though it led me to put it in my nomination predictions, I don't think it's gonna win the Oscar. The WGAs were ultimately what told us what was going to win the screenplay categories last year, but considering Nomadland's lack of eligibility and considering how strong the film has been this year with no real essence of lighting up or lessening its blows, I think it's pretty safe to say that Nomadland is going to take adapted screenplay, in the same way that it's safe to say Emerald Fennell will be an Oscar winner for her screenplay on Promising Young Woman. I still think this battle is tighter than people think it is with Aaron Sorkin for Trial of the Chicago 7. That being said, the Academy really hasn't shown a ton of love for Aaron Sorkin since he won for The Social Network. Yes, Moneyball was nominated. Yes, Molly's Game was nominated. Steve Jobs, which won the Golden Globe for overall Best Screenplay, wasn't nominated at the Oscars. Trial has had a little bit of a slowdown recently, other than its recent win at the Emmys for Best Editing, which I think says that it still has a little bit of traction in this season, considering it was growing to be a category that Trial was looking like it actually might end up losing to Sound of Metal, but now it's sort of rebounded in that category, which leads us to go, okay, does Trial have more momentum than we think? There was a lot of talk early on in this season about the comparison of Roma and Green Book to Trial of the Chicago 7 and Nomadland. It was a very similar feeling type of race. In order for Trial of the Chicago 7 to win, it absolutely needs to take original screenplay. And Promising Young Woman has steadily become that dark horse for Best Picture as opposed to Trial of the Chicago 7. Does a lack of assurance for Carrie Mulligan help in giving Trial of the Chicago 7 a little bit of edge? Maybe. But I still think Promising Young Woman is the lock for screenplay. It really has yet to lose in an area that I would see it needing to lose to be this big turnaround for Trial of the Chicago 7. It won screenplay at the Golden Globes. As I just said, screenplay went to Aaron Sorkin for Steve Jobs back in 2015, 2016, and it wasn't even nominated. It's almost arguable that winning screenplay at the Globes is the worst thing that can happen to you if you're trying to go and win the Oscar. Just looking at the winners here, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood picked it up, Green Book, which was obviously an actual predictor. You had 3 Billboards, but then you also had La La Land and Steve Jobs. The Golden Globe Screenplay Award has not historically been the most sound precursor in the world. So I think we're pretty safe bet on Promising Young Woman here. If Trial is to upset it, though, then start keeping your eye on that Best Picture category, especially if Nomadland loses adapted. Right, then we start going, okay, what the hell is going to happen here? People will use the Aaron Sorkin didn't get nominated for Best Director. Look at Peter Farrelly for Green Book. I think that comparison is still relatively strong, and while Trial is not my prediction for this category, it is Promising Young Woman, I still think an upset could happen in this category that could lead to something more interesting happening later in the night. Performance-wise, I'm going to crack the 3 out that we can just crack out and we can move on from there. Daniel Kaluuya has literally yet to lose anything, so he will be Academy Award winner Daniel Kaluuya, which is awesome. It's a stacked category, man. The Best Supporting Actor is a stacked category. I think there's one expert on Gold Derby who has Paul Raci winning. That guy's snorting meth. Daniel Kaluuya is going to win this Oscar. I am very confident in that. Yoo Jung-yoon swooped into a category that literally could have gone anywhere and just easily became the frontrunner. She's been the frontrunner for quite some time. I wasn't sold yet. A SAG win was the first thing I needed to sort of tip her over the edge of Bakalova, and I think in order to win, Bakalova really needed that BAFTA, which she lost out to Yoo Jung-yoon. I think it's very safe to say that Yoon is picking up this Oscar. It's going to be a really big win. It's going to be an awesome win. She's gained a ton of brownie points by having 2 awesome speeches, and the Oscars want awesome speeches. They're going to give this one to Yoon. Supporting Actress, which was the original toss-up category, with Foster winning and Bakalova winning and then Yoon winning. We all thought it was going to be a fucking mess. And now it's one of the 3 locks, in my opinion, for best performances. I think that's one to cash your money in on. And Chadwick Boseman. I know there's still people out there comparing the BAFTA win of Anthony Hopkins to the BAFTA win of Olivia Colman. Guys, listen, there was a stream where I said if Chadwick Boseman lost anything, I would cut my dick off live. Obviously, I owe you guys that video, but if Chadwick Boseman loses this Oscar, you're going to see a look of shock that might physically disturb viewers. I would be so astounded if he loses this Oscar. I was already fucking astounded that he lost the BAFTA. But what did I say earlier? BPDBS. British people doing British shit. Do I think Anthony Hopkins should win? That is a different question for a different video, which is still coming. Chadwick Boseman is going to win this Oscar. I don't know if there are people out there predicting Anthony Hopkins right now with his BAFTA win. I'm not taking it into account necessarily. That might sound silly, and it might sound stupid, but Chadwick Boseman is going to win this Oscar. Fucking trust me, okay? All of you said that Timothée Chalamet was going to win for Call Me By Your Name. I had like 300 people come into my chat to make fun of me when he won over Gary Oldman, and then I had about 300 people leave when they said that Gary Oldman won, because of fucking course he was going to win. Now we arrive at the shit show, the Best Leading Actress category. I'll just get this one over with quick. It's Vanessa Kirby, so we can move on from there. Best Director, no. So I don't know, man. Listen, the last time I sat in front of this camera and genuinely was like considering changing my prediction while shooting was when I was trying to figure out if I wanted to predict Casey Affleck or Denzel Washington. And I ended up going for Casey Affleck on the spot in the video. I think I did a similar thing with Christian Bale and Rami Malek. But this, I mean, man, this shit is... It got to a point where I just had to shoot the video, and I knew that no matter what I did, no matter how much research I did, no matter what I looked into, I was going to feel just as not confident in my answer as anything could happen in this category. Quite literally, everybody has won a different precursor other than poor Vanessa Kirby. Andrew Day took the Golden Globe, which is big. That's a big win. Carrie Mulligan took the Critics' Choice. Viola Davis took the SAG. Frances McDormand took the BAFTA. So, theoretically, on paper, it's anyone's game, right? People have been throwing numbers around. People are talking about the past history of the Oscars, and I just don't think any of that is viable in this season. I don't think you can use statistics to predict this category. I'm going to make a prediction, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be shocked if it's any of them. I'll be shocked if it's Vanessa Kirby. That'll blow me out of my fucking seat. But I don't think it's any of... I think it could be any of them. I think Andrew Day is a sleeper possibility because votes could be split so many different ways. I think Carrie Mulligan is a possibility because she's been such a respected actress for so long, and it's arguably the most powerhouse performance of the bunch. She's well deserving of her Oscar. It could be Viola Davis because she picks up the SAG, which historically in these categories is the biggest precursor. Or it could be Frances McDormand. They could be looking to give her third Oscar, even though it's been quite some time since an actress has won 2 Oscars in one night, one for acting, one for producing, and she's probably going to win one for producing. So, what the fuck is going to happen? The way I look at it, and the way I peel back the layers like an onion, Viola Davis's upset at the SAG, while big, was moderately predictable. We know that the SAGs really like Viola Davis. They awarded her for The Help when she ultimately ended up losing for The Help. It's no surprise that the Screen Actors Guild loves Viola Davis in the same way that they loved Hillbilly Elegy, right? Amy Adams certainly didn't find her way in the leading actress. So we have that going for us. Andrew Day is tough for me to predict. I want to, but missing out on that SAG nomination, it's a big thing for me, but then I'm also not using SAGs, so that, equals out, and then it's how am I going to use the Critics' Choice Award as a precursor to predict Carrie Mulligan when 2 years ago the Critics' Choice Award gave leading actress to Lady Gaga and Glenn Close, and neither of them ended up winning the Oscar. And that year, it came down to the BAFTA, which Olivia Colman won, which I'd be looking to for Carrie Mulligan, but Carrie Mulligan wasn't even fucking nominated because the BAFTAs decided this year that they had to upend everything they've ever done in terms of nominating. So what the fuck? Truth be told, I think Frances McDormand is a very solid possibility. She's not my prediction. But I think people are underestimating the hell out of Frances McDormand. When it comes to awarding actors 3 times, which is very rare, it's typically for a very versatile actress with 3 very versatile types of performances. This performance in Nomadland, well, sure, not the most impressive thing Frances McDormand has ever done. is very different from Fargo and very different from Three Billboards, and that draws a lot of attention to it, on top of the fact that Nomadland has been very successful, especially at the BAFTAs. While everything else went fucking haywire, the one movie, in nominations at least, that performed the way it was expected to was Nomadland. It was in picture, it was in director, it was in actress, it was in screenplay, and yes, not every category was nominated on the basis that or on those 12 or 13 people or whatever that were on that panel, but it still performed strongly. And you could make the argument that the momentum behind Nomadland right now backs Frances McDormand for a win. Is she going to win? Maybe. Who is my prediction? I somehow am still drawn to Carrie Mulligan. Because I have to think and go, any other year, if the BAFTAs had nominated the way that they usually did, Carrie Mulligan would have won that BAFTA, right? There's no way she would have lost it. Maybe she always would have lost the SAG to Viola Davis. But I don't see Viola Davis winning this Oscar. I don't. I think Chadwick Boseman is such a runaway standout performance in that film that there's no way Academy voters go for both. I think he totally steals it. And I think, obviously, with everything going on in the real world outside of that film, he steals everything. And he becomes that actor in that film, which did not do very well nominations-wise, to pour your appreciation and love into. And that opens the door for Carrie Mulligan. Again, I think votes in this category are going to be razor thin. I think it's going to be this close. And whoever wins, the person in second place was right on their ass. Also, there's a garbage truck outside, which is really fucking awesome in terms of timing. But I have to pick Mulligan, and I hate it, because the only thing she won is the Critics' Choice Award, and fuck if that means anything. But McDormand, I think, is a real solid possibility. I think Day is a sleeper possibility. I think Davis would be shocking, but it is possible. And Vanessa Kirby is going to go and have a great time. It could be any of these five. My pick is Carrie Mulligan, just on a season basis, on a strength of performance basis, but more than anything, on a gut feeling. On a gut feeling, I think McDormand is my second pick. I think Day is my third. I think Davis is my fourth, and Kirby is my fifth. But anything could happen. I'm going on my gut, and I'm just fucking hoping at this point. And director and picture, I'm going to kind of combine, because I would just be shocked if any. Again, I predicted 1917. I think in both of these categories last year, I predicted Sam Mendes in director, and I predicted 1917 in picture. And ultimately, the entire night was upended when Parasite took screenplay out from Tarantino. For one thing, no one's beating Chloe Zhao. That's just not happening. She has won everything, anywhere, at any point. She is winning Best Director. If she loses Screenplay, if she loses Picture, she is set for a Best Director Oscar. She is coming out of the Oscars with that award in her hand. I challenge anybody to debate anyone in the comments section, because that award is going nowhere. Now, can Nomadland be beaten Best Picture? Which is my prediction. I am predicting Nomadland to win Best Picture, as I've been doing for a few months now, and I think as most people have been doing for a few months now. I just think it needed to lose somewhere for anything to really stand a shot. I think if Promising Young Woman, we were going into the Oscars knowing for sure that it was taking screenplay and it was taking leading actress, we actually have a discussion on our hands. But for me, the biggest thing is when a film wins director and it wins screenplay, it's very fucking rare for it not to win picture. It hasn't happened since the Oscars changed the 5 Best Picture nominee films to 10. It has yet to occur where a film has won director and screenplay and not won picture. And that doesn't happen all that frequently, right? Usually it's split. I think the last time it happened, don't quote me on this, I think the last time it happened was Birdman, where Iñárritu won director and screenplay, and that was still an upset. Boyhood was largely predicted to win that year picture. What the fuck am I talking about? Parasite just did it. I'm smoking crack, guys. But it has yet to happen when the Oscars have changed their rules from 5 to 10. A film is one picture or a film is one director and screenplay and not one picture. I still think Nomadland is winning screenplay and director, and that sets it up for winning picture. If it's going to be one of those 1 in a million shots where it wins both and loses picture, so be it. And I predicted what was logical to predict. Could it be Trial? Maybe. Trial's got to win screenplay. It's got to win editing. Could it be Promising Young Woman? Maybe. It's got to win screenplay, which it probably will, and it's got to win actress. I don't think Promising Young Woman can win without Mulligan winning. But, as I've predicted, if it wins both, it's possible. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's possible. Nomadland has been one of the most award recipient films in recent history. It's won fucking everything, everywhere. So, you gotta put your money down on this film. You're crazy if you don't put your money down on this film. It might not scream the best film of the year to you, as I know it doesn't for a lot of people, but you just have to bet on the traction. The traction hasn't slowed down anywhere, and if it had at any point, I would be way more comfortable saying Trial or Promising Young Woman was gonna win this category, but I'm not. It's gotta be Nomadland, and it's perfect because look at how pretty it's gonna look when that Shape of Water post goes. They're all green and blue, and Nomadland has so much green in the poster, it's gonna look so fucking pretty up there, dude. But that's it. That's all I got. It might seem like simplistic predictions, but this is a year where anything can happen, especially with Steven Soderbergh telling us that the Oscars are gonna play out like a movie. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it'll certainly be interesting. I appreciate you guys sticking with me through this award season. Here's what's coming next. This Sunday, I will be live streaming my live reactions to the Oscar wins. For the 6 of you that will not be attending the Oscar Expert stream, come hang out. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be really enjoyable. I should have one more video out this week about what I believe should win in those big 6 Oscar categories. If that doesn't come out, it's because I'm a college student and it's finals and I'm busy, and Oscar season has been in a really fucking weird place this year, so it's been a lot tougher to make this happen, but I'm going to try and get that video out. I've been streaming live on Twitch every day. That Twitch link is in my banner. I have a Twitter also in the banner and a Letterboxd also in that banner. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe. The channel continues to grow. It's awesome. If you disagree with anything, let me know in the comments below. I love a little bit of fun banter. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I love you all, and I will see you all next time.